Welcome back. It's been a long time. I'm finally glad to get back in the swing of things. It is not the inaugural. It is back to rolling to the swing of things of the Pick and Roll podcast. Today I got my guy filling in for my boy Ryan Fusco Face, my guy right here, Faison 40, my guy Jay Faze, Jordan Faison. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a busy man, especially playing out there in Japan still, got your season going on, but hey man, I appreciate you taking the time.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. Like I said the first time, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be part of the GOATs podcast, man. The GOAT Hawk man.
Hey man, it feels good, man. It feels good. I feel relaxed. I had a busy schedule. People have been hitting me up talking about, hey man, what's going on with your podcast? Why'd you stop doing it? It's been, I'm gonna lie to you, I looked at my YouTube thing, my feed, my channel. Hey man, it was about 5 months ago. I ain't
Oof.
posted. And
Hey man.
I looked at that and I was like, you know what? I can't be doing that, But like I say,
Yeah.
you gotta take that pause. I had to figure some
Oh
stuff out
yeah.
with school. Your boys finally graduated, manifested a good,
Congratulations.
manifested a good job. I won't not announce that yet, but yeah,
Hmm.
man, just been grinding, man. Keep my head down, but I'm back. I'm ready to get, more episodes produced, give the people, what they've been asking for. So like I said, I appreciate you, taking the time out your day. First and
Sir.
foremost, I like to, obviously we're in the sports, we love sports. We talk about sports every single day. We always send each other, topics and different, news outlets about sports. So first and foremost, I like to give my prayers and thoughts. We've seen everything that's going on with Damar Hamlin, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that he's, there's been positive signs. He's actually been able to communicate through writing, and it's good. It takes a lot of pressure off the Bills, coaching staff and the players, because I was, a very different feel. That's very unusual to see. But like I said, I want to throw that out there before we get into NFL talk. That way, our thoughts and prayers are still with them. We're glad to see that he has positive signs.
Yeah.
But man,
Definitely.
NFL, one more week, week 18. My team, I'm an Eagles guy, sitting right now first in the standings in the NFC, but we have been struggling. Faison,
A little
13
bit.
and 3, 13 and 3. Jalen Hurts, injuries have been coming off at the rough time.
Yep. Yep.
Me as an Eagles fan, should I be concerned? Should Jalen Hurts play this weekend, knowing the trajectory of how the standings are to get that bye week? Everyone, when you're a top team in NFL and when playoffs come, you always want to have that bye week. You know what I mean? You want to get that first round bye, get time for your players, relax after a long 17-week, 18-week season now.
Yeah.
Should the Eagles sit out Jalen Hurts so they rest some of their players?
Ooh, man. That's tough. I think it depends on your team, man. Like, you know, I hear some guys talking about, yeah, man, that bye was huge for us. And then some guys are like, yeah, we wanted that first round game to kind of get like the tune up and just keep it rolling. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think it depends on the team, man. I mean, you know your Eagles better than I do, man. What I, I think, me personally, I'm a little old, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm taking that bye. But some of them guys they might want that game. They might want that smoke. So they ready, for the next round.
Man, I'm not just speaking just for the Eagles, but that's any other team as well. I mean, obviously with the Bills, they're figuring out that game, the Bills and the Bengals. But right now they're sitting alone in the first in the AFC, and I'm pretty sure they would love to have that first round bye to get everyone healthy, man. So I'm with you as far as like old school. I want that first round bye. I want my guys ready to go. I got, I know we got Eagles. Unfortunately, had the injuries at the wrong time.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not like substantial. It's very, they're able to control the injuries. It's just a little bit of rest. Hopefully, our right tackle Lane Johnson can come back, and he said he's ready to go for playoffs.
Big piece.
Big piece. We got just a lot of little injuries that just happened at the wrong time, but we're not in trouble. I would say that we're not in trouble. We still, we still got the chance to, make some noise in the playoffs. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. But with that being said, we got all these different types of favorites. We got MVP talks coming around, with Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes always every single year lately, ever since he's been playing in his career, he's always been in the favorite for MVP talk. Me personally, I feel like Jalen Hurts has proven that he is an MVP, and I'm not being biased. Like I said, I'm a Eagles fan, but I feel I feel like he has proven that we lost 2 games without him. The
True.
offense has changed drastically without him in the
Hmm.
in the rotation. You know what I mean? He's able
Yep.
to make those different RPOs and reads. He had the guard too. With Gardner Minshew, they know he's just staying in the pocket. He's not really an outside of pocket presence guy.
Yeah.
Run game kind of slipped up a little bit because the read was just as they already know it's going to Miles Sanders, going to Miles Sanders, and every quarterback in this day and
Predictable.
age is predictable. Everyone in this day and age, especially the quarterback position, they're good on their feet. You got guys like your boy Ravens Flock, Lamar Jackson, good on his feet. But even his backup, Tyler Huntley, he is good on his feet.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So I feel like it's shown that I think that Hurts could arguably make that push to be the MVP. But I wouldn't be mad if they were to give it to Patrick Mahomes or a guy like Josh Allen. What are your thoughts? Who do you
Yeah.
think the MVP is?
Man, made a good point, man. I mean, MVP is most valuable to the team, man. So, I mean, I feel like you said, those 2 games they lost without Jalen Hurts, that speaks a lot. He's, I mean, he's proven the doubters wrong, like this whole year. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's, I think when it comes to MVP, like storyline definitely plays a huge part. So I think he has that. He's got the valuable part. Ah, man, I feel like but it's tough with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. I always say this dude, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, like I, they're just in it every year, man. They're just a safe pick. You know what I'm saying? So like, man, it's tough. Who do I want to win? I would want to see somebody new. I want to see someone like Jalen Hurts or somebody like that. Maybe even like a shoot, man, throwing a wild card, throwing like a Christian McCaffrey. You know what I'm saying? He came to San Francisco and
Makes some
boys are
noise.
going crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
he has. He changed. The Niners offense was already good along with their defense, but adding
yeah.
him is just like you just seen
It
the
exploded.
spark. You just seen the spark right away, and I'm glad that
Yeah,
he was able to get out of that Panthers team, which is in full rebuild mode right now. They were still competing for games though, which is crazy to think that. But like you said,
yeah,
Christian McCaffrey is that's a good pick. I didn't clear up my mind about him being a potential MVP. That's a wild card, like you said. My wild card would be Jay Jetter's Justin Jefferson. The only thing that make it tough for his claim is that performance against Jair Alexander and against the Green Bay
boy,
Packers.
John here kind of locked them up. I
Gotta
ain't gonna
lock them
lie.
up, man. So that's why, like, you see that, and it's like, damn, you go out the whole season, you're doing really well. He did put up numbers, in the beginning against the Packers, but then you look and it's like when media comes out and Jair comes out, he speaks. He's all like, "Oh yeah, man." I'm not saying he's terrible. He said, but I thought y'all boosting the man's name up a little bit too much, man. We good corners here, you know what I mean? And sure enough, he proved it. And I love seeing that as far as like competitiveness because you don't get guys who come in the media and like talk their ish, and then they come
Yeah,
out on the field and like I'm really about to prove what I said in that media, and then go and do a post game interview and say and wear the big hat, the cap hat, the big hat. That's like the new thing now in the league. And tell them, look, man, this is me. I told you
yeah,
I'm a dog. I'm a cornerback. So yeah, man, I see where your thoughts come from as far as the MVP conversations. With that,
yeah,
we also got the Pro Bowl coming up.
yep,
Obviously the Pro Bowl has been changing with the trajectory of it because they're scared of not scared. As far as like the health and safety of the players, they don't want to put too much strain on them, knowing that they're Super Bowl will be that following week or playoffs are still in effect. So now they came up with the idea of doing a Pro Bowl games, which is like different little mini games that come out, kind of like an NBA All Star Weekend.
yeah,
Different tests like quarterback arm, wide receiver speed, whatever the case is. 40 yard. I don't know what the angle is of the Pro Bowl games, but it's obviously that they're taking the safe route and don't want no one to really get hurt.
yeah.
Um, What are your thoughts on the Pro Bowl games? Do you think that this could be a good project, a good a good thing going forward? Do you think they can elaborate more on it? Because this isn't the first time that they announced something like this, so it's a whole different no different segment for the NFL to do. So, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the Pro Bowl games?
Yeah, no, I think it's dope. They actually, I remember them doing it like way back, like in the early 2000s. They was having, stuff like this, but they would still have the Pro Bowl game. It was just like, before or whatever. But I think it's, I think it's cool because it's kind of like the Pro Bowl game itself has always been like I don't want to say BS, but it hasn't been like, what I'm saying? Like it hasn't been as, competitive, you know. So I think it's dope. And I think it's cool that they go into flag football because it's like then you can see guys can get real competitive without hurting each other. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Uh, so yeah, I don't know. I like it, man. It's different, but I think it'll give everybody kind of like a palate cleanser from just the they're really not out there playing or this is some some BS. So I think it'll be dope, man.
And that's been the narrative over these past couple the past couple years is that, oh man, these dudes not even out here sprinting. They got Mac
Yeah.
Jones out here doing the gritty, man. He out here running 100 yards, and that that man Mac Jones ain't running the ball for a day in his life. But no, I feel like the angle of it's heading towards it. I think that they can touch on a few things and clean it up once they get the idea of how this season goes forward. I think that over the future that I think it'll be established really well. Um, Go ahead and switch up the topic, man. Our favorite. We're basketball guys. We're basketball heads, man. NBA talk. Hey, we see right now sitting in the first in the Eastern Conference right now. You got the Boston Celtics. All right, sitting right now in the West, it's a tie right now. Actually, Memphis plays tonight, so I think that'll push them. Memphis and Denver play tonight. Denver's got the Clippers, and then Memphis is blowing the Orlando Magic out right now. So right now, Grizzlies will sit atop of first place, along with Denver, depending on how that game goes tonight against the Clippers for them. I think right now the hottest team. I'm going to East Side first. Looking at it, it's the Brooklyn Nets, man.
Yep, yep,
The Brooklyn
yep,
Nets.
yep.
Look, they started off. I believe they started the season. They were like 7-12. Fired the coach Steve Nash. So it's kind of like, okay, they fired Steve Nash. Kyrie Irving, he's very public. He's all high, all in the spotlight. It's okay. We know Kyrie's always tend to be that way, which is fine because when you look at it now, I mean these guys are 25 and 13 and they're currently sitting on a 10, 11 game win streak with the addition of the new coach Jacques Vaughn. But I seen a clip with Jacques Vaughn sitting in the huddle. I'm pretty sure you've seen this clip too. And it's Kevin
Yeah,
Durant talking to him, and he's all like, okay, we're gonna run this play. This is when Kyrie hit that buzzer beat against Toronto. He's like, okay, we're gonna run this play right here. Kyrie's gonna be. I mean, he's like Durant's gonna be open. We give Durant the ball. It's like a pick and roll play, and then off the pick and roll, the guy he rolls and Durant comes off a down screen, and then they're like, no, 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 no. Durant tells him, hey, no, no, run this for Kyrie. Kyrie's gonna be open, and he's like, it's gonna work. And then Jacques Vaughn said, it is gonna work. So he added some more pointers to it, and did a little counter to what KD said. And then sure enough, Kyrie gets to top of the key, step back, boom. These guys
mm,
are buying in with Jacques Vaughn. I feel
yeah,
like me personally, when you buy in with a head coach, it only makes things better for your team. We see a lot of guys who I wouldn't say that they completely don't agree with what their coach is saying or trying to do as far as offense or a defensive standpoint. But when you buy in, that's all sports and all levels, high school, college, you guys are fighting for a same goal. At the end of the day, everyone in the NBA is fighting for the same goal, win an NBA championship.
yeah,
That's what they're doing right now in Brooklyn, man.
big time.
That's my pick on who's hot right now in the Eastern Conference. What about you,
Yeah.
Face?
Oof, man. Uh, Shoot, man. That's probably the consensus pick. I mean, I like what you said though about you know players buying in to what the coach says, and then on top of that, I feel like Jacques Vaughn, the coach, he's buying into what the players are saying. You know what I'm saying? It's a give and take. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously, a coach is the coach, but he can sometimes listen to what the players have to say because they got a better feel sometimes and be like, yeah, okay, let me, So I think that dynamic is dope, man. Like having that is that's what's going to push them to be like a contender. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the X factor. Um, Man, in terms of who's hot, I mean, like, yeah, it's Brooklyn, and then I think even though Boston just gave like 150 to OKC,
Where
them boys are
where where
Boston, man.
where no shade Gilgis Alexander.
With no shade, bro. With no shade, which is insane. Like the whole NBA scoring is is a topic amongst itself, bro.
Let's touch on that. I'm glad you brought that up because I seen a tweet and it was like this is the most 50-point scoring games that someone has seen in a single season in the NBA. I mean,
Yeah,
Donovan Mitchell just had 71 the other night. It's impressive though. I give him credit where credit's due.
sure.
71 is 70. Just scoring 70 in general is that's you gotta be hot that night, which he was. I mean,
Yeah,
he was doing everything.
torching,
Go to the floor. He was going to the rim, step back,
hitting threes.
hitting threes, going to the free throw line. Free throw line is big. Like when you get to the free throw line, that shows that you're the aggressor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But still, man, I don't like. I mean, I'm watching this Boston game. I got it right in front of me too as I'm doing this podcast. I mean, 103 right now. I mean, there's dudes scored in barely in the 80s, 70s. And
Yeah,
like I said, I can make that claim that there is better scoring. There's guys who can shoot the ball significantly well in this day
yeah.
and age. So that kind of enhances the scoring. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about 50-point games every week. Every week, man. It's
Yeah,
every week is someone scoring over 50. Giannis did it. Luka did it. I mean,
Donovan
bro,
Mitchell.
Donovan
Yeah.
Mitchell, like phase, man.
Uh,
Do you think it's a defensive thing? Do you think these guys are? I'm courtside when I work the Lakers games, and when I
right.
seen, I'm not courtside when I was working them, but like when I'm there for like the pregame, and then I go in the media room, and then I'm like doing social media work. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're sitting there and watching it, I watched the game when they played against when they played against New Orleans that one day. It was back in November, and look, man, I don't care. Nobody says sitting there watching it and then on TV, like, okay, these are playing like they're playing some D. But then when you watch it on TV, it's like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Do you think it's a defensive thing? Do you think that guys just don't want to can't score? I mean, don't want to play defense. Like you don't see no one really getting that stance, slapping the floor. I'm locking you up this possession. Like, we don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me overthinking it. Cause I myself I love to play defense. I love getting people frustrated and try to switch up and make them uncomfortable with what they're supposed to be doing. What do
Yeah.
you think, man?
Shoot, man. Like I think there's still those defenders out there. Like you still got the Drew Holidays,
Yeah,
the you know what I'm saying, the Marcus Smarts,
of course.
the Kawhi's, when he plays. I think I think it's a combination of both, bro. Like I think like just the level of scoring talent in the league is just like it's insane. Like anybody can go get 50. Like it doesn't matter. And like so then it's like, oh, okay, well, if this guy is gonna be the primary guy to go get 50, we gotta go double him or something. But then you doubling him and you got the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh guy all the way down the bench who can go get 20 off that double. So then it's like we're seeing 150-point games, 130-point games. You know what I'm saying? So like I think it's just a combination of both, man. Like the rules have changed, obviously. Like it's easier for offensive guys to prosper in it, but at the same time, it's like, man, everybody's is a threat on the floor. I mean,
Exactly.
you got Brooke Lopez over here pulling up from 30 feet, like he a 7 footer, you know?
And it makes it easier for guys like Brooke Lopez because you got Giannis who had draws those double teams, and I mean I was watching that Milwaukee game when Giannis had his career high, and just seeing like the offense that they run, and it's Brooke Lopez sending him a screen at the top.
Right,
I'm
exactly.
like, dude, this is two 7-footers. One of them setting the screen for each other, and the other one is arguably one of the best finishers in the league right now. But he
Yeah.
could easily just go out, turn around, and Brook Lopez. I mean, there's sometimes Brook Lopez is pulling that joint in somebody's face too. I mean, he
Yeah.
has no hesitation. I respect it though, bro. Get your money.
No,
But yeah, like
yeah.
you said, man, like there's guys like that now, 7-footers who are stretching the floor out and shoot. So I feel like the offense has expanded. Um, so
Yeah.
I agree with
And
you on that standpoint.
yeah.
So another week, I was watching one of my favorite podcasts, one of my favorite shows, the Pat McAfee show, and they had an interesting topic. Okay, so the topic was directed towards like the younger age, the youth. You know what I mean? Probably I would say like six to ten range.
Hmm.
Um, and the topic was that should we eliminate participation trophies, meaning that we all played rec league ball at the YMCA where we had they'll randomize you to a team. We had those old school like or just said Bulls on it. You know what I mean? It
Yep.
said Celtics. You know what I mean? The colors were as obviously the team colors. And there was a point in time when it was a tournament. And those leagues were playing. Even when we were playing travel ball at that time, there was participation trophies being handed out, whether you win or lose. And their whole narrative with that is that it's not teaching kids how to accept losing and learn from losing.
Yep.
Um, what are your thought process? What is your thought process on as far as like participation trophies or just players and teams getting third place trophies? Because me personally, I guess I can start this off. I feel like it's okay to have a participation trophy at a certain age limit. Like, okay, yeah,
Hmm.
we need to learn how to lose because it builds character. It shows us how we manage, coming off of a loss. And I just feel like it just builds you up individually as a human, but also teaches you how to play together as a team, right?
Hmm.
Um, so I feel like the age limit is very big as far as like participation trophies.
Yeah.
I think the age where they probably should get rid of it is like when you're 7 and 8. 7 and 8 is like you're competing for a specific goal,
Yeah.
and we all have tournaments, and there's it's always that's brackets, and you see it right there on the line. Championship game. The whole point is to get to that championship game, correct?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and I get it. We're a young age. It's okay to lose. It is okay to lose, but we got to learn that it's okay to lose at a young age, whether it's physically on the court, on the field, or even in the classroom. Where you don't get that grade. It's a competitive thing everywhere. Anything you do, a job
Yeah.
search, it's competitive, man. Everything you do, you gotta learn how to take your losses correct. So I feel like by us learning that at a young age will only help us out in the long run as we get older.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit on the head, man. Yeah, I think younger, what I'm saying, like, anything from like YMCA to the little, where they got the little hoops and stuff. Like, I think everybody should get a participation trophy, man, because
Of course,
they just out there running around,
running around.
traveling.
Child, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing yet. You're just
Yeah,
and at that age, didn't mean to cut you off, but at that age, like that's
no,
when you're
you
learning. That's when you're learning if you like the sport or not, right?
good. Yeah,
So that's a
facts.
big thing too. Like that you're learning how to if you really love basketball, if you really love soccer, if you really love football. So
Yeah, yeah. So I think that age, everybody gets participation trophy because, like, they're gonna get that trophy. They're gonna be like, oh my god, then they're gonna be like, then it's gonna draw them into the sport. You know what I'm saying? But then obviously when you get to that certain age where it's like you all competing for a goal and you see that, like you said, that championship thing right there, that's motivation, man. And you gotta, like you said, you gotta learn from a young age, man, that like you're not always gonna get what you want. You know what I'm saying? It's not always going to work out. Things happen, but when you learn to use that as fuel for your next, tournament or job search or whatever, what I'm saying, then it's like that like you said, it builds character and, makes you better as a person. Um, but I would be interested to see like, maybe like a study or something. I'm a psychology major, so I would like to see like a study on like it'd be a long study, but how it affects somebody like not getting participation trophies at a young age and seeing how they deal with losing later on in life, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, somebody that does get participation trophies and how they, you know, take an outlook because I mean, shoot, you could build up a maybe a sore loser if they're not getting anything, you know what I'm saying? And they could be hyper competitive. And that can be a good thing, you know, but it can also be a, you know, a deterrent. Or you can get somebody who they always got trophies and stuff, and then you know when they get older, they can be the sore loser, you know, or they can be you know just super nonchalant and be like, oh yeah, you know, I was just here to play, you know what I'm saying? Like I just, you know, I don't really care about winning like that, you know, I'm good. So it's interesting, but I agree with you, man. Like you know, started early, you know what I'm saying? And you know, that's because that's how life is. Life is
Exactly.
it's always gonna be, you know,
And
unfair or not winning.
exactly. And I'm not saying that as far as like a parental view, as far as like, you know, your kid just needs to learn how to lose. No, like at some point it's like, okay, like you lost. I would if I was, you know, if I was that parent, I'd be like, look, tell me why do you think you know you lost that game, or what did you feel like you struggled in that didn't really help your team to win that game? It's all learning, you know what I mean? It's all a learning process. It's not nothing to shut down or make your child feel like unappreciated. No, because you can any
Yeah,
loss you take at that age, you learn from it, correct? And you learn from it to get better. Like nothing
yeah,
you doing, I don't there's no perfect human, you know what I mean? So by them, like I said, by them learning how to lose and like because you're gonna get some wins, but those wins are like you just learn. You're like, oh damn, win. That's all you're gonna be capable of of understanding. But when like how is it losing by 20, or how is it losing by that one goal, or how is it losing by that field goal? You know what I mean? Like how do you?
yeah,
It's like those little things. Like oh man, like we lost, and like, you got to put it in perspective. Like damn, like why did we lose that game? So I feel like learning out losing at a young age will only it's just only to help the youth, you know what I mean? Not it's nothing to be ashamed upon. I just feel like it's just one of those things that just helps, helps the youth.
yeah.
Especially me. You know me, hey look, you know how me and Q are, my brother Q. Hey man, that is one competitive ass man. Hey, look, people who watch this episode just know that Quentin Taylor, he is he is one of those competitive men. I got a story, man, because I just got the little feed that we got 10 minutes left. But I'm gonna ask you if you got a similar story, cause you got a brother too. So I'm gonna see if he's on the same spectrum as me, that being the younger brother.
Oh, I got a story for Q and go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. I got you.
I'll tell my first. So, hey, look, for those who are watching this episode, my brother Q, he gonna be watching this too. We used to have the most competitive 2K games. And that's how I got my starting point to learn how to lose at a young age, because I was one of those who would be a sore loser. And that man right there, whenever it came to me beating him, because he got adapted to he was always beating me. He was always beating me. But whenever I found a way to beat that man, all hell broke loose. I'm talking about throwing controllers, breaking controllers. I mean, he's like, "You suck." It got really competitive to the point where my mom was in the other room, like, "Hey, like, I'm gonna take that damn game away from y'all." And I'm like, I told him, I'll be looking at him like, "Hey, man, like it's okay to lose." You know what I mean? I told him it's okay to lose. Like, man, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? But it was those moments where we learned, like at that age, like damn man, like we're competitive, two competitive guys learning how to win or lose. We're learning, and
Yeah,
that's through a video game standpoint. So can you
man.
only and I mean look at us now. I mean we are out now. We're not really playing a sport like that anymore. We're playing for fun, right? And men's league and stuff like that. But hey man, I learned how to lose at a young age.
Good man. Hey, you gotta learn, man. Those things. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how different aspects of life can tie into other aspects like sports, video games, you know, life, work, job, all that stuff, man. You can take one thing from his spot and take it over here, and it's just so I get you, man. I do. This dude, So obviously, me and Q used to be college roommates, college teammates, roommates. You know what I'm saying, for like 3 years, and I remember one day we was just talking about like old school video games, right? And we were talking about the PlayStation 2. We was talking about, NBA Ballers, NFL Street, Crash Bash, Crash, all this stuff, man. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go see if I can find my PS2 or just get one and then try to find all these old games, that we could play. And so lo and behold, fast forward, I go get the PS2, get the adapter with the 4 controllers, and I mean on a nightly basis, we're all four of us, me, Q, Germ, and Tunde are all playing just NFL Street, NBA Ballers, all that stuff, man. And I remember me and Q were always the ones that like would go on Google and look up like the controls and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we could have that little bit of edge against each other. Because I was always stunt dunking, and Q was like, "Oh no, I gotta figure out how to stop that." Yeah, Q.
Look, those of y'all know this man right here, Jay Faze. He is a cheater when it comes to those old school games. We were playing NBA. Look, we were playing NBA Ballers. That's the game that man's talking about with the stun down. NBA Ballers. And
Hey,
this
cheat, man.
man right here was a significant cheater. I'm like, bro, and he picked the same guy. Same guy. And he
Hey,
already knows
G.
what I'm The big ticket Kevin Garnett. But one thing, if you guys were to play against us in this NBA bars, Kobe Bryant is off limits. He's
Yeah,
off
he's off
limits.
limits, bro.
He's
Can't
off
can't
limits.
use him, bro.
That's our rule. That's our saying. You can't. The moment you play with us, you can't play with Kobe Bryant. But just know that
Too
this
nice,
man
bro.
right here, he is a significant cheater. But man, that's a good story, man. That's a good story. But unfortunately, man, got 5 minutes left. Probably won't have enough time to squeeze another segment in here. But hey, Jay Faze, I appreciate you, man, for joining. I know you're a busy man. Best of luck to the rest of your season. Can't wait to see you out here when you get back in Cali. We'll definitely will link up. But everyone, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. There will be more content, more episodes coming through. I will be the angle of this. I'll be having more guests, different guests coming in, and I'll have this podcast rolling, man. Like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, share with your friends, share with your families, your aunties, your cousins, whoever. And thank you for another episode of Pick and Roll Podcast. I'll see y'all.